Exciting news for 2025. Get ready for a brand new lineup of inspiring shows here on the Worship Team Training Podcast. Coming soon, we're launching fresh content and a new guest lineup designed to equip and encourage worship leaders and teams like never before. Plus, don't miss The Green Room, a new series of micro-podcast devotionals packed with quick, powerful encouragement for worship leaders. Stay tuned for 2025. It's going to be a great year of growth, inspiration, and transformation right here on the Worship Team Training Podcast. Now, let's get to today's episode. Hope you enjoy. Life moves like the ocean. There are high tides and low tides, steady rhythms and sudden crashes. The space between the waves, the quiet, the stillness matters just as much as the swells that come. Hey, worship team, thanks for coming back to another Green Room episode. And I am on top of a mountain right now, riding the waves, so to speak. I came back from an awesome workshop that we did in Marietta, California. And just a big shout out to the worship teams there of Rock Valley Christian Church. It was amazing. And quite honestly, it's been several years that I was in California. And coming back brought back many fresh memories, many great times with friends and people in ministry that I know, and meeting with great people. And I had that chance again, and it was just awesome. But I found myself when I was, just to give you a personal story, when I was on the way to the workshop, I had a lot of time one morning. I actually arrived there on Friday, like typical for workshops. And usually it's a busy time because you come from the flight, you have to hurry and hustle and bustle to your ride, and then get to the church and the hotel and checking in, and you're just on the schedule, and then you got to begin the workshop. But in this particular day, I actually had time to do a bit of sightseeing, and it was amazing. So I thought, well, if I have time to meet with friends, I want to make it happen. So I reached out to a few friends, and it was weird. Like, each one of them was busy. And even those that I contacted, even within my own team that are in California, those that are on the podcast actually, and we scheduled something, but plans got changed, and that happens, So I figured, well, I'll just go ahead and do my own sightseeing. But it's like, in that moment, when I could have busied myself and I could have planned out my whole day to have tons of things to do, God spoke to me, and he said, Brandon, what about me? What if you were to go out and just go to the beach and sit there and just hear from me? And I thought, that's an awesome idea. Sure. So in being overwhelmed with previous events up to the workshop and getting ready, I felt like this would be a good break. So I took it up upon God and thought, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and do this. So I had to find the right spot, the right place. I arrived at Laguna Beach, one of my favorite beaches there. Passed up through San Clemente, and that's a favorite also. As I got out and found a seat, I just listened to the waves that were coming in. It's like God was just speaking to me, just saying, Brandon, just listen to the rise and fall of the waves. And so I want to give you a little bit of an exercise. And I have a clip, an audio clip of the waves. And I'd like for you just to listen. And I'd like for you to take in maybe what God is speaking as we walk away from, or we take a pause rather, from our busyness and leading worship and doing music. I'd like for you to spend just 1 minute listening to the waves. And then we're going to return, and I'd like to have you experience and talk about it, come to mind what it is that God said to you. So here we go. Let's listen to the waves. So, hey, worship leaders and teams, thanks for listening through all the way to the end of this podcast where most people don't. So I have a special request to ask you. Will you help us get the word out to bump up our algorithm for more worship leaders and teams to see and hear these messages that will help them in their ministry growth? So if you enjoy this content, please like and follow this page on whatever social platforms you find us. Or if you're listening to this podcast by whatever podcast service and or watching this by YouTube, please click the subscribe button. And thank you.